Hello students, welcome to MBA 360. Today I'm going to discuss about one institution which is really good for those people who are wanting to work in the intersection of climate, sustainability, environment and still want to pursue an MBA. It is very rare that anywhere in the world you actually have an MBA program which is dealing with sustainability, environment, forests and those kind of things and still giving you great career opportunity. And also more importantly, for you students who are into life sciences, there are very few MBAs that actually do justice to the kind of knowledge that you gain as a life science student. It can be biology or zoology or earth sciences or climate and environment. And that is what we're going to discuss here because this is a specialized MBA and the institution itself was established in 1982 because what they realized at that point in time is that the technical expertise that you have to manage forests of this country would not be completely used unless you also have a management understanding to manage the forests of this country. And which is where this entire institution was established by the Ministry of Environment and Forest. It is not established by the Government of India through one of its commerce ministries or finance ministries, but it was established by the Ministry of Environment and Forest to ensure that students who are interested or studying in life sciences, but also interested in forest, environment, sustainability, development and those kind of things, and the intersection of business for all these four things, which is where the Indian Institute of Forest Management had been established. I'll take you through this entire institution so that you understand why it is important for those kind of students who are looking at a course which is different from MBA in finance, marketing and all. By the way, this is one program which possibly is a AI proof program or course that you can think of, because you should all know that there is a lot of question marks that are being asked as far as MBA in finance and marketing and those kind of things are concerned, because there is a great likelihood that AI, once it really sets in, might actually eat away quite a few jobs that are coming from when you're dealing with MBA in finance, MBA in marketing and those kind of courses. But this one possibly is AI proof, possibly, again I'm saying this, but just look at the institution itself and then you'll understand why we're talking about this institution. And before I move any further, please do subscribe to MBA 360 if you think that we're genuinely helping you make those critical choices. Do subscribe to MBA 360. Right. This institution was established in 1982. Why was it established? Because the government of India felt that to conserve the forests of this country and also ensure that they're best monetized, we should actually not just have a technical expertise of it, but some kind of a business management understanding of the whole thing also, so that we can actually commercially use that while ensuring that the sustainability environment is taken care of and we also conserve our forests also, right? So which is why it was established in 1982 by the government of India under the Ministry of Environment and Forest, not under the Ministry of Commerce or Ministry of Finance. It's a deemed to be university, established over 230 acres. It's a beautiful campus if you go there. And the ranking by Career 360 is 34th best B school in the country in the public domain. Now you will just look at the kind of programs that they offer, which is where you will exactly know why we are recommending this one, right? They offer an MBA in forestry management. MBA in forestry management. What does it do? It focuses on natural resource management, aiming to develop managers for the forestry, environment and allied sectors. The kind of companies that come in for recruitment also, when you look at that, you'll realize why this is so much in demand, because most of the large conglomerates these days want to have people who understand environment, sustainability and try to carry development along with that, which is where this comes into focus. Then you have MBA in sustainability management, which combines general management with a strong emphasis on environmental and social sustainability. So it's not just for exploiting resources, but also ensuring that it's sustainable for a longer period of time. Then you have MBA in sustainable development, which is launched for 2025-26 session. This program covers multidisciplinary approaches to sustainability and managerial, technical and social skills. And then you have MBA in Development and Sustainability Finance, which also launched for 25-26 batch. It's focused on ESG, right? Green bonds, impact investing and sustainability finance. So a lot of people here go for VCs, work in banks and those kind of things, especially the smaller banks, the micro finance groups and all, you work on those things. So they actually have 4 programs: MBA in forestry management, MBA in sustainability management, MBA in sustainable development and MBA in development and sustainable finance. So you actually have finance, development and management, all 3, right? Now you look at the kind of placements that happen. Obviously, a good B school is judged by the kind of placement that it offers, right? So if you look at this data, the only caveat I can tell you at this point in time is I don't have data of how many students were actually the intake, the quantity of intake is something that we are still not able to figure out because there was a big gap there. But when you look at the placement, it's 100% from what the institution claims, by the way. This NRF data, based on the NRF data, they are placing all the students who are graduating and opting for placements. What we do suspect is there is something above this, in the sense that the admitted students is 105. No, I do think that the admitted students is far bigger than that, what we're seeing here, because typically in an approval process, 60 is the class size. If you have 4 programs or 3 programs, your admitted size would be at least 120, 180 and 240. Whereas what we see here is 105, 103 and 87. So that is a big caveat. But having said that, based on the data that's submitted to the Government of India, what we notice here is that the number of students who are admitted is 87 in 23-24 batch, 86 graduated, all 86 were placed, which is 100% placement, and the median salary is 8.88 lakh. Previously it was about 10 lakh and then 8.5 lakh. So they seem to be claiming a 100% placement, though I do have a question mark on that. But still, assuming my question mark also is correct, right? The number of students might be not 87 but 120, for example. Still we're talking about 70-75% placement in the right places, and that works for you. So that is one reason why. And again, I'm saying it's a Government of India enterprise, a B school. So the fee structures, everything would be moderated, and they'll be really working hard on creating what the country needs and not just what the corporates need. So to that extent also, we're dealing with those kind of people who have their heart at the right place, trying to do an MBA and still participating in the growth of the country while ensuring that environment and the forest resources are sustainably used and not exploited beyond a point. Now, if you look at the kind of companies that come for placement here also, very interestingly, we actually have a profile of the kind of companies that come for placement. About 20% of the students are placed in NGOs. About 19% are placed in consultancy, which is PwC, EY and those kind of things. In research analysis, about 11.5% students are placed. Banking, which is especially a lot of micro banking enterprises go here for placement, and even the big banks that you have also have those divisions which are dealing with certain pockets, right? So that is about 11.5%, and NBFC is 10.4%, IT is 8.2%. So companies like Infosys also go here for placement. And then corporate. So in all, if you look at it, broad sector-wise placement, 80% is corporate, NGO is 13.7%, and 5.5% is government. Now, what are the companies that go for placement here? If you look at it, this, by the way, we've taken from their own website. S&P Global goes for placement, which is the world's largest rating agency. You have PwC going for placement. You have EY going for placement. You have Vedanta, which is the owner of the world's last, they actually are into mining and steel and a lot of other stuff. So they also go for placement. ICICI Bank goes for placement, which is again a bank, you know that. ASAP is a small finance bank, they go for placement, and so on and so forth. Then you also have a lot of NGOs that are here, if you notice that whole thing. So you actually have quite a few companies. JK Paper is going for placement, Hindalco is going for placement, Infosys is going for placement. NAFED, which is a Government of India enterprise which is into marketing some of the products which are agricultural products, they go for placement here. Birla Estates is going for placement. So you actually have quite a few. And by the way, a lot of NGOs, ASA and Jivika and those kind of things. Nerolac Paints is going for placement. So you actually have all kinds of companies going for placement, obviously for the kind of skill set that are established in this particular institution when you study there. Now, how do you get into this place? It's a bachelor's degree is minimum, 50% or equivalent as CGPA, 45% for SC/ST, and finally, candidates right now can apply to this B school, right? Provisional admission is conditional, must submit completion certificate once they do that, and on or before June 30th, you need to finish off everything in terms of having your certificates and everything in place, right? The fee is quite moderate here. First year fee is 7,08,000. Second is 4.72 lakh, in all about 11.8 lakh. So to that extent, when you look at the fee structures of other B schools in the country, this is very, very moderate, because typically these days, any B school which is less than 15 lakh rupees is very decent, and these people charge 11.8 lakh. And by the way, there's a refundable caution deposit of 30,000, all that we can leave, but 11.8 lakh is what we're looking at as a total fee. And the kind of placement that you're getting is about 9 lakh rupees. And the possibility of placement, they claim to be 100%. In my opinion, it's about 65-70%. And when we looked at the people who passed out of, in the Institute of Forest Management, we looked at the LinkedIn data to understand how many students who claim that they studied Indian Institute of Forest Management, and what are they doing? We realized that we found about 2,000 profiles there, of which 95% people are working in India, which means 5% people are working outside of India, 2% are in USA, 1% is in Canada and UK and those kind of things. About 28% are working in Madhya Pradesh, of which 23% in Bhopal. By the way, the institute is in Bhopal, so that's where it happens. 15% of the students are working in Delhi, which means that they move to Delhi, maybe NAFED or any of those big banks and all. 11% in Maharashtra, 6% in Karnataka. So you actually have students who are studying here spread across the country in terms of their work culture, right? But a few of them, about 5% students, are working outside of India, which also is a good number to deal with. The reason why I'm talking of Indian Institute of Forest Management is 3-4 reasons. A lot of students want to do a different kind of an MBA. You might want to be involved with environment, you want to be involved with forests, you want to be involved with a sustainable growth of this country. 2, you might be a life sciences student. And as life sciences students, it's very difficult for some of you people to get into the tech courses and those kind of things. So it becomes a problem for you. So this is a very, very good apt fit for people who are into life sciences. And the third thing is, this possibly is an AI-proof career, because there are increasing question marks on whether your current MBA, which is essentially when you're doing MBA in finance or MBA in marketing or some of the other MBA, sectoral MBAs that you have, how relevant are they? But wherever you have a personal touch or a human touch, these things become very, very relevant and possibly AI-proof also. So to that extent, for me, anything to do with sustainability, environment and all, possibly is more AI-proof than the other programs which are very process-driven, routine, and AI can replace them. So to that extent, this possibly is one of those programs that I think is AI-proof. And that is the reason why we covered Indian Institute of Forest Management. The data here very clearly says that, one public institution, the kind of price that you offer, the kind of, placement that are happening, all point to one good option that, if you're a person from life sciences, and of course, by the way, I'm not saying this is an institution that is good only for people in life sciences. If your heart is in the right place, when you want to work in this kind of a program, it is a very good place for you to begin your journey. And from that perspective, we covered this Indian Institute of Forest Management. If you want me to cover any other B school which you really like, write to me in this message box here. I'll happily be covering it if it is of relevance to a larger audience. Thank you so much. Namaste.